Codename Whistler, Windows XP, XP standing for Experience, was released on October 25th, 2001 as the successor to Windows ME and Windows 2000. Many versions of Windows XP were created throughout the world. The two main versions of XP were Windows XP Home Edition and Windows Professional Edition. The hardware requirements for Windows XP require at least a 233 MHz processor speed or higher, 3.3 gigabytes of hard drive space or higher, with 64 megabytes of RAM installed on the motherboard, with a Super VGA 800 by 600 with a or better resolution, an optical drive to download the operating system off the CD, two human interface devices such as a mouse and keyboard are required. With determined to see if you have the right hardware requirements to install Windows XP, check the hardware compatibility list on Microsoft's website. You may need to do a clean installation on your hard drive due to the fact that Windows XP cannot be upgraded to older operating systems, which may not have the capability to upgrade and will require a clean installation on the hard drive. My name is David Campbell, and I'm going to give you a demonstration on using VMware and installing Windows XP. First, on Virtual Machineware Workstation, click on New Virtual Machine. Then the New Virtual Machine wizard will ask you what type of installation will you want, a typical or custom. Now I will go for a typical. Then the new virtual machine wizard will ask you where am I going to load the new operating system from. And unfortunately, I do not have it on a DVD drive, but I do have it on an ISO image. So I'm going to go browse. And then I have the ISO file saved on my virtual machine folder. And I'll click on Windows XP. Then I will click Next. Then I will enter the product key. My personalized Windows, my full name is David Campbell, my password. Then I will confirm this password. Then I will click on Login automatically after the installation. Now the virtual machine will be called Windows XP Professional number 3. Then I'll click Next. I'm just going to add 20 gigs of hard drive space on the virtual hard drive. It does say Windows XP Professional recommended size is 40 gigs, but 20 gigs will do me just fine since I won't be installing too many programs and I do not need that much space. Now I'll just click Next. And then the new virtual machine wizard will give me a list of my requirements and my specs on my new virtual machine for Windows XP Professional. As I said, 20 gig hard drive, 512 megabytes of RAM. My network adapter card will be the NAT, and other devices such as a CD-ROM, floppy, USB, controller, printer, and sound card will also be included into the Windows XP Professional installation. Unfortunately, the floppy drive will give me some issues since I do not have a floppy drive installed on my laptop. Make sure the power on this virtual machine after creation is checkmarked so that it automatically go into Windows XP. Now I'll click Finish. As you see, VMware will start the installation of Windows XP. this installation is just the same as installing Windows XP on a regular desktop or laptop and not using VMware on here. This is the typical screen that you would be experiencing. As you can see, it's loading up my drivers and system files right now. Now the Windows XP Professional setup is going to be formatting my hard drive. This is going to take a substantial amount of time, maybe up to 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes to 60 minutes with the installation process. I'm going to save you the pain of just watching this load slowly, so I'm going to stop this right here, and then I'll continue on after the complete installation, which is very simple on how to install Windows XP. All you have to do is just follow the commands, which are pretty much next, and then it will go to the automatically to the Windows screen. Now with the successful installation of Windows XP, we're going to get our first look at the GUI, the graphical user interface of Windows XP. So we just have to hold on a few minutes before we're able to do that while Windows XP starts to boot up. As you can see, Windows XP has a very crisp GUI. A lot of settings are going to be just popping up right now. There's going to be some configurations that I will or may not want to attend to. I have another pop-up saying my computer may be at risk. Right now, I'm not going to install any programming to Windows XP due to the fact that I won't be using the internet or loading any unknown programs for Windows XP right now. So I'm just going to exit out of this. Maybe a little bit of lag right now for the load time, but let's see what we can do. Okay, now the first thing I would like to do is set up some users on this account. So we do go to Start, Control Panel, and then to User Accounts. Now we have two administrators, one's for the computer, and then another administrator that we're going to label as John Doe. And we're going to be dealing with John Doe's family right now. So let's add an account. So we'll go up here, it says pick a task, create a new account. And this will be John Doe's wife, Jane Doe. And then we'll click next. And now we have two types of accounts right here, a computer administrator or a limited account. Now the difference between the computer administrator is the computer administrator has full access to the whole computer. Now to the limited user, with a limited account you can change or remove your password, change your picture theme and desktop settings, and etc. Users with a limited account cannot always install programs, which may be really nice if you have children or just other people who may install like corrupted software just to intentionally have your computer at risk. So this limits their ability to harm your computer. So let's create an account. And then let's create one more limited user. So we just go to create a new account. And this will be John and James' son, Billy Joe. And let's click next. And it'll be unlimited. Let's create an account. Now, Billy Joe, he has the soccer as the image right here. And let's change James Doe. Click on her profile. Click change picture. And let's say she likes butterflies. So we have done that. And once that has been created, we could add a password, change the account type. We can delete the account if we really want to, but let's not. Let's click back. Okay, and we were able to create a couple accounts, one as the administrator and two limited accounts. Now, there is no type of groups that we're going to be dealing with since this is not necessarily a server type operating system. So we have completely done that, and that is how you set up a user account on Windows XP. Now I'm going to talk about file structure and management. Now we'll go to Start, My Computer, and we'll go to the local disk C drive right here. Now as you can see, there are three separate files. One file is for documents and settings. This right here would usually coincide with the files that you would create like within Word, PowerPoint. Any type of files like that would be saved in this setting right here, in this type of files right here. As you can see, I went to all users, the desktop. These are what files will be available for the users, favorites. As you see, it is blank. Hence, what this is just the startup of Windows XP. And over time, there will be more files added onto it with the more programs that are installed. As you see, I have Billy's homework right here now, but I'm going to delete this. This right here is the shared documents. The shared documents are the files that are used throughout all the users. They can be shared back and forth. All users would have complete access to the files. Now, the one file that usually that all users wouldn't have would be the administrator. Now, the administrator has all these documents right here. Certain files it has the cookies, what's usually been used up on the internet. You would have full and complete access to these files right here, unlike the limited users would. Now, the program files right here are the file or programs that have been installed, and that is where these files will be kept. As you see, we have our Windows Media Player, and these are the drivers, all the setup files for Windows Media Player. And as you can see the drivers, the exe files, or the executable files, and the icon right here. Now, there can be a big mess if you start deleting certain files off of this, but it doesn't mean completely that Windows XP would not work.